pickleball, soccer, cleaning walls, and cleaning her ears. In her spare time, she likes to be alone, annoy her parents, do laundry, do dishes, and clean her whole house. You can send her to mine when she's done. But Nancy has taught her to be patient. Fun fact is she hits her head once a week. Next we have junior Trinity Brock. Parents Jeremy and Emily Brock. Trinity has been on the dance team for 3 years and dancing for 12 years. Her hobbies are shopping and dance, of course. She is in NHS and Interact Club in HOSA. In her spare time, she likes to hang with friends and shop and watch shows with her mom. Dance team has taught her to adapt and overcome. Fun fact is her cat is older than her. Hallie has been on the dance team for 3 years. She's been dancing for 15 years. Her hobbies are puzzles, playing Zen Match, and Candy Crush. She is in HOSA. Her spare time, she likes to watch movies. Dance team has taught her when times are hard, you always have your team to lean on. Fun fact, she has the same birthday as her brother, 2 years apart. Next we have senior Grace Raisin. Matt and Jessie Raisin are her parents. She has been on the dance team for 4 years, and she's been dancing for 14 years. Her hobbies are watching Netflix. In her spare time, she likes to hang out with her friends and go shopping. Dance team has taught her to be herself, and she has 3 ongoing injuries right now. Small but mighty.
I like to take pictures of it, Sean.
We're going to start with the first routine, which is they call Snap Jazz, which is Snap, which originally was our Christmas routine that we never had to perform, so we just changed it to a different song. And the girls made this up themselves. So.
But my name is Chelsea Wendell. I am the coach of the Tillamook Middle School dance team, and we are going to do our hip hop routine for you.
Got you starting deuces every time I buy. I know you gonna lie. I'm so cool. You don't ask me, just do what you do. Get me in the trap, it's going down. Get me in the mall, it's going down. Get me in the club, it's going down. Anywhere we guarantee to go down. Drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Get low, and really guarantee to go down.
This next dance is Run, and it was choreographed by Trinity Brock. Your music is on.
It's time for me to take it. I'm the boss right now. I'm gonna make it. Now when you go down, 'cause this is my game, and you've got to come to play. I used to hold my breath back, now I'm letting go. I make my own choice, yeah, I run this show. So leave the lights on, and you can't make me behave. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with being confident? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with being confident?
Next, we have Bella Versola. Bella performed her solo at Ashwaubenon. She placed 39 out of 64. And I know some girls don't like to say that when it's so far out. But Ashwaubenon is a very tough competition, and Bella did amazing there. And then she performed River Falls and placed 12, and then Sparta she placed 4th. So here's Bella Versola.
Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the times. Welcome to the final show. Hope you're wearing your best clothes. You can't bribe the door on your way to the sky. she said you're dancing in the movie. I started to believe her. Then I saw you and I knew. Maybe it's 'cause I got a little bit older. Maybe it's all that I've been through. I'd like to think it's how you lean on my shoulder. And now I see myself with you.
dance. We'll honor our senior this year. It's Grace. 40 years. We're sorry to see you go, Grace. We miss you. We wish Grace the best of luck as she moves on. I'll do that at the banquet. So this is De Niro. Next we have Emma Soul. She'll perform her solo in Falls in place 7th, and then perform at Sparta competition in place 2nd.
And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you'd feel me somehow. You're the closest thing that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's meant to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And if you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your heart, and when everything feels like the movies, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. To see me.
Grace. She performed her solo at Ash Lebanon in place 8, out of 64, and then performed at River Falls in place 4, and performed it at Sparta competition in tied for 3rd place. Here's Grace.
Tried to talk to my piano. I tried to talk to my guitar. Talk to my imagination. Confided in time. I tried and tried.
the head coach from Material University. We did camp the Sparta dance team and a few girls from the Black River dance team. The girls really like this dance, so here is camp dance.
4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Five, four, three, two, action.
No, not to be. Somebody called they harassing me. And like because I rap and be the athletes. Stop that.
It's a moment when I slow down, I'm saying why. G-Wagon, 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 on the house when I'm pulling up. Pull up to the scene with my son missing. Pull up to the scene with my son missing. Pull up to the scene.
Trinity, her solo, she performed at National Webinar, placed sixth, performed at River Falls and placed first, and then performed at Sparta and placed first. Here's Trinity with her solo.
I've seen 1,000 things before. I've fallen in and out of love. I couldn't help but try to run. And like the weight of expectation seems to keep me up. How come I'm the only one who ever seems to get in my way? Somebody to live, somebody to hold. It's just another to lead before I let go and I eternal lonely. Slowly, everything I touch turns to stone. Maybe I'm better off alone. I'm the only one who ever seems to get in my way.
If you don't wanna see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking
December of their solos. And then at the end of January, they, at regionals, they pick all state finalists, and then they go on to state to make the all-state team. And this year we had Grace Raisin, Trinity, Brock, and Haley Raisin making the finalists. And Hallie ended up being injured, so she couldn't come on to state to try out for the all-state team. But Grace and Trinity made the all-state team, so congratulations. So this next dance is our competition jazz. It's choreographed by Anna. We've actually placed higher in this routine pretty much all season, and usually we place higher in prom. We placed fourth at Ashwaubenon, we went to River Falls, and we placed second. When we did the NBC competition in Onalaska, we placed third. Went to Sparta and placed first, and then went to regionals and placed second, and we went on to state. And we went to state and placed sixth, so we were 3 points away from making it fifth place. And I say that because fifth place you bring home a very nice trophy. And some year I'm gonna have those. And I just have to say that this routine, the girls have really had a hard time connecting to it. And when one of the team's parents kind of, sorry, I got kind of disconnected with you coming up there. They reached out to me, it was actually Wapaka, and we were actually against them at some point. I think it's at state, we ended up getting against them, but it was kind of nice that they said at regionals, I think it was, that they loved our routine, and they were like our number one routine that day. So I had to tell the girls that because they just have a hard time connecting with this one. But it's a very beautiful routine, and they do it very well. So. Anyway, the Rick gets bandaged up here. We'll perform this routine for you.
You don't know if you belong here. You're afraid I won't stay long. While I lay in your arms, dear, can't you tell you got me wrong? My world's spinning on and on.
Went through regionals, we placed third, did not make it to state. Then we ended up getting the wild card, the only wild card in the Western regionals, and we made it to state. So we're pretty excited about that. We placed 7th at state, only making it 4.9 points away from 5th place. Yes, breaking records, ladies. So hopefully you guys enjoy this routine. Also, I just want to mention if anybody's interested in tryouts, we're having tryouts February 28th through the 2nd of March here at the high school in the cafeteria. So I would just like to thank everybody for coming. This is our last routine, so have a nice day. Thank you all for your support.
All right, this is the 21-22 dance team, and again, ladies, great job tonight. Let's introduce yourself again, if you don't mind.
My name is Bella Arney, and I'm a freshman.
Okay.
My name's Emma Gearing, and I'm in 9th grade.
Okay.
I'm Grace Raisin, and I'm a senior.
Grace, where are you going to school?
I'm not sure yet, but
Okay.
I want to major in dance.
Thank you. And you are?
I'm Liv Raisin, and I'm a sophomore.
Okay.
I'm Hallie Raisin, and I'm a junior.
Okay.
I'm Trinity Brock, and I'm a junior.
So you ladies next year, I mean, sky's the limit. You could do really well again next year, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we're going to get a group picture here, and I'll let you guys do your thing. Okay. There is your 21-22 dance team. Ladies, thanks for your time. Great job tonight. Thank you so much. as we wrap up the community update, we talked with Tomah Mayor Mike Murray. Mike, just 2 days ago, elected to your third term. What does that mean?
Well, I'm flattered that people like the direction that the city's going. I'm hoping it means that they're okay. With the way I'm trying to direct things. And again, sometimes I say that it doesn't just involve me; it involves the council, and there's so much more involved with it than just the mayoralship. There's the intricacies that occur. Somebody was saying, during the campaign that it was like, what the mayor wants and what the mayor wants. Well, to be honest with you, and Greg, in the 4 years I've been mayor, I've probably voted on 3 things during council meetings. Yeah. Because as the mayor, you only get to vote if there's a tie. Kudos to the city council, because there's not been really many things that they can't see eye to eye on. So the direction is moving forward for the city, and I think that's a positive thing, and that speaks volumes more about the council than it does about the mayor.
You get 60% of the vote. Your opponent, Remy Gomez, gets 40% of the vote. Pretty close race on paper, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's some of it had to do with methodologies of campaigning. I choose not to go the route of negativity, but again, the one thing that I think that I offer is the fact that anything that I'm going to support, I can give definitive backing on why I support it. The location of the public safety building. I don't back things lightly. It goes back to even like the veto on the ambulance garage a number of years ago. That wasn't just a decision I made off the top of my head. I actually polled every one of the EMTs and paramedics working with the ambulance at the time to get what their response was, what their opinion was as to putting the new location for the ambulance garage out by the new hospital. The overwhelming majority of the EMTs and paramedics, with great explanation, came back and said, no, that's a terrible spot. It needs to stay centrally located. So again, even at that, when the veto had to happen 4 years ago, it happened because of the input that I got from the people that were going to be directly affected by the working conditions and how it would affect their workability. So I hope people continue to see that I take those things into account. It wasn't just my decision. It was a lot of valuable input from those that actually are working the conditions.
You talked about, before you decided to run for your third term, there were things you wanted to see happen as mayor. Obviously, you touched on one of them. Anything else jump out, Mike, you'd like to see in your next term? Well,
again, so much has been made of things that, when people talk about transparency within the city, that's frustrating to me, because when we talk about transparency when it comes to meetings, the state of Wisconsin sets forth statutes and regulations as to when you announce meetings, what you have to announce, the information, when it has to be released, all these things. Our city clerk, Becky Weyer, does an amazing job. And prior to her, Joanne Cram, they did an amazing job. Even when there were special last-minute meetings, they were always warning us and letting us know, listen, you have to, you've got to give proper spacing and things of that nature. So sometimes I think, people try to use this word transparency. I don't know as a city how we could be much more transparent. We are following exactly what the state of Wisconsin sets as its statutes and parameters for meeting acknowledgement, so on and so forth. Those things are out there and available for people. Let's be realistic. We can't call every citizen in the city of Tomah anytime there's a topic coming up. It falls upon the onus of the people to keep themselves informed. It's kind of like a library. The library provides the books. It's the responsibility of the people to go there and check them out and find out the information they need. So, that is one of the things, is that it's very imperative to me that to not denigrate the people at the city hall that are doing a fantastic job of what they're doing by using catchphrases like transparency. Because again, there is nothing, not one thing that hasn't been followed by statutes that are set forth by the state of Wisconsin. I have been involved, I believe, 7 years now with city government, and not once have we had anything brought about an open meeting law. So again, we have to be careful when people are going to use little catchphrases to try to, throw people off. I'll go to, for instance, my opponent talked about the fact that there was a better choice for the location of the public safety building, but never ever revealed what that better choice was. What we did was we took a look at a place like Glendale Ballpark. Yes, an absolute iconic ballpark, somewhere that I grew up every night of the week, going down with my brother and watching my sister play down there. And, but when we stepped back and we took a look and we said that Glendale Ballpark is being used 5% of the year.
Yes. Yeah.
And for the same $1.5 million we would have had to have spent as a city to go out and purchase a piece of land and get it prepped, we could take that piece of land that we already have, get it prepped so that we can build on it. The money we saved can now go to be put towards a piece of land that we purchased several years ago. We're now advancing a project that we hadn't scheduled for 10 years. I mean, it was 10 years down the road. So we're going to add 3 ballparks, volleyball courts, pickleball courts, parking lot, a concession stand, all sorts of things of that nature, that for the same $1.5 million, we get to buy a piece of land and get it prepped, or we take something we have and add all of those other amenities, which will draw more people to town, which puts people in hotels, and it has people eating at restaurants and shopping in stores and filling up their gas tanks and spending money within the community. So the $1.5 million investment, it's going to be made either way, but the decision was made this direction, and we can back it up with solid fact proof of why we did what we did. It's very easy to stand back and say, well, there's other choices and better choices, when you never have to reveal them or show the benefits to the city. So part of my next 2 years is I don't want like pettiness to come into small town politics, because that just gets out of hand, because people say little things, they don't verify them, they don't equate their position to where they can put proof behind it. We have a council that's working tremendously hard for the betterment, and we have some not so pleasant conversations, but the not so pleasant conversations are because we're looking for what's in the best interest of the city. Let's be honest, there's lots of different routes we could go with things, but we have to come to one decision. And then that's going to require people coming together, and that's what we're elected for. The other thing is I give such great credit to the council, to our department heads, when it comes to the ARPA funds. And the ARPA funds are the funds that came about because of COVID, that were issued by the federal government. And I'm so ecstatic about the fact that as a city, we have not gotten frivolous with that money. We have until 2024 to use it. And so we are being very, very, I don't know if the word is frugal, but we're researching what is the absolute best way we can spend that money to benefit the absolute greatest number of people in the city of Tomah.
Everybody on the council ran unopposed, so no changes on the council. But the bottom line is a scary number. Less than 1,000 registered voters voted. Bottom line, more than 3,000 registered voters said, I'm not going to bother, and that's kind of scary.
It is, because again, it's, it involves the direction of the city. It involves the fiscal planning of the city, and that's where that decision making is going to come in. I am never the believer in if you don't vote, you can't complain. I'm not a believer in that. The thing is that if you don't vote, you need to ask yourself why you didn't vote and why do you register to vote. And a lot of it has to do with the livelihood that you have. you know, where the city you live in, the city that exists in the county you live in, and the county that exists in the state you live in, and the state that lives in in the United States that you live in. You know, all of these decisions are affected by the fact that by people voting and putting people in place that they want to run. And want to run, you know, the different factions of government. Even more so than the amount of voters that, you know, didn't vote. We really need more people to step up and become involved in the city, to volunteer to be on committees and, you know, get to understand the city a little bit better. People to step up and want to run for office, you know, so that we have council that in your district you want, you know, you get that voice for who you want to run your areas. On the other hand, I'm very thrilled at the fact that the council stays the same, because we can just kind of continue with the pace we're on of the things. We're not having to re-educate as people come on board. So in that sense, it's a very positive thing.
Mike, for many years, we did not have a city administrator. Many years, we did have a city administrator. At this point, we do not. Is that a temporary thing? Is that permanent? Is this going to last forever, or do we see a scenario where maybe a city administrator may be needed? What's your point? Is I know you haven't been. It's a work in progress. You have a committee that's doing very well right now. But if you look at the big picture, what do you see?
Well, again, it becomes, you know, something I talked about during the forum is return on investment. You know, if we are going to have a city administrator sitting in place, we have to realize and recognize that we need to get from that person a return on our investment that's equal to what we're compensating. What we started to realize is that, you know, when the last city administrator decided to leave, we started, you know, looking at it and saying, well, maybe that isn't the route to go. What if we went? And so as to permanency, we don't know. What we did realize is that, you know, 99% of the things that come before the city, you know, whether it's somebody wanting to bring a business in, whether it's somebody wanting to, you know, talk to about financial standing of the city, you know, whether it's somebody coming in and wanting to know about, you know, things that are existing and, you know, how they handle things in the city, they all fell through one of those departments. So that the city administrator would have not only taken the call, but would have then reached out to one of these 4 departments for consultation. And so, you know, it was decided that maybe we would eliminate that position for a while and see if there is a glaring hole, or if having those people there takes care of itself. In the interim, the city of Toma, you know, is saving $80,000 to $100,000 a year.
Just going to ask you, that's the bottom line. Did that come into play as far as making this decision?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Money is tight everywhere. And when you can take $80,000 to $100,000 that you were spending somewhere else and take it out of the equation, it then can either go somewhere else or it can go to paying off debt. And, you know, sometimes we take a look at that and we say, well, you know, say $100,000. Is that really saving the city a lot? Well, in 10 years, it saved the city $1 million. I mean, that is a lot of money.
One final thought as we wrap it up with Toma Mayor Mike Murray. Mike, we haven't talked about this at all. Maybe you can help me, maybe you can't, but I've had people asking me, the Ho Chunk Theater, what's the future of the Ho Chunk Theater? What are you hearing?
To be honest with you, I'm not hearing anything.
I've not.
Well, you know, again, I cannot speak for. I've heard what everybody else has heard, that the licensure from I believe Marcus, you know, it wasn't renewed. So outside of that, you know, there hasn't been anything revealed as to intention or plan. But again, you know, I get it. You know, we're in a market right now where, you know, finding employees and finding, you know, I mean, it's any business. I don't care what businesses it is. The smaller businesses, it's tough to survive right now. I mean, even within a household, you know, I looked yesterday and you could have knocked me over with a feather, and I ain't the lightest guy in town. You know, I took a look at in the 3 years I've been open here in the restaurant, I've paid between $13 and $16 a case for the eggs that we buy, and we buy 15 dozen. Back in January, it about knocked me over when I opened my computer up and it was $28 a case.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And I opened my computer up yesterday to do the order. Eggs have went to $45 a case. They've gone up 300%. And you know, you start looking at that and you realize that it doesn't matter if it's running your own personal household finances. It's getting tougher to do that. In small businesses, it's getting tougher to do that. Any business, any size business, getting tougher. So maybe that weighs into it. I don't know. You know, the cost of doing business is going up while incomes aren't necessarily rising. So then where are people cutting out what they're spending? Are they not going out to movies? Are they not going out to eat? Are they not getting their nails done? You know, that person that used to go in and get their hair colored and a permanent, maybe they're just getting a cut anymore. You know, so where is it that they're cutting back? Because you aren't seeing the income to match the level of inflation. So I know I went a long way to get to that question. But again, you know, the Marcus Theater is, or the Ho Chunk Theater is still a business.
Yes. Yeah.
And it still has to be run as such. And you know, if you can't do it in a profitable manner, then maybe it's better to sit with an empty building.
Well, hopefully that answered the person's question. And I've had other people ask me that too, because the talk not that long ago was somebody had purchased it, and obviously that hasn't happened. But if things change, we certainly will keep them updated.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and that's there are things that happen behind the scenes that we just can't, you know, we can't talk about. In this particular one, I have not heard anything. I've not been, you know, privy to any of the information. And again, you know, somebody actually just asked me about a cab service this morning.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I reiterated the fact that, you know, you can't force anybody to open a cab business. You can't force anybody to become an Uber driver. The cab company that is, for lack of better terms, leasing Toma Transit, you know, again, they're bound by what the state allows them for hours to drive. You know, trust me. Excuse me. I think they would like, you know, to have the ability to drive more, but you'd be breaking the law by doing that. You know. So again, when we're having the right conversation with the wrong people, you know, it would just, we can't make changes and we can't do things if we aren't getting the information we need.
Toma Mike Murray joins us on the update as we wrap it up for, well, technically, Major League Baseball starts today. I know you're a diehard Yankee fan, so kind of a big day for you, right?
Yeah, well, no opening day today.
It's rained out. They got rained out.
They got rained out. So it was supposed to be it was supposed to be opening day. As a matter of fact, I said it was 4 years ago that Bruce Paith and my brother Kevin and I.
Is that 4 years
It's
already?
been 4 years. We
Wow.
took our trip out. We were in New York at this time. As a matter of fact, today, 4 years ago, we would have went to the Yankee game at Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
During the day, and then the Bucks were playing at Madison Square Garden that night. We went to Madison Square Garden to see the Bucks play, and then we lost Kevin 2 months later. So
Wow.
you know, it's been 4 years.
I didn't know that's amazing. But
Yeah.
time does go fast in my world. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I did not think I had in 4 years.
And you know, as we're, you know, winding down, I'd be remiss if I didn't send my condolences to the Kling family.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah,
yes.
Wayne gave 100% effort. You know, when he did anything, he gave 100% effort. If he didn't understand something, he asked questions. He did everything he could to better understand. So he was educated on, you know, where he was moving forward. He loved the city of Toma. He loved history, and you know, did a tremendously large amount of things for the city. And the city is extremely grateful for that. And may he rest in peace.
Absolutely. Mike, thank you for doing this again on very, very short notice.
No
Thank
problem.
you for your time, and we'll talk again down the road. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, Greg.